Hi everyone, welcome to today's read. Today I'm going to do a check-in on Prince William because, you know, obviously the things going around with the royals, and then he pulled out recently, and then that triggers a whole load of speculation. Firstly, if you're seeing this, this is from Candles and just on my altar, so it's just candles. And if you're familiar with my readings, I always like to have candles and maybe essence to smudge, and the whole altar, which you only see a part of it, is for my other readings as well, and a bit of energy healing. So what I'm trying to say is I don't use this for anything else. This is not coffee, this is not anything else. Right. I was torn between two energies, but I know people would want Prince William, but I wanted to do actually Camilla. So she might be coming up in the next read. If I feel William's, because I feel William's energy is a bit blocked. And blocked, can I tap into it, meditate into his energy, probe into his energy? I can do without tarot. I can do with tarot, but when I feel that, I like to respect someone's energy. And that's why I'm not doing a whole load of readings on Catherine. I've said what I have to say on that. But the next one, I will be doing a tap into her, because I think there might also be some tummy issues there. I had mentioned previously before what I predicted at the end of last year into this early this year, which has turned out. That there was stuff around maybe some disorders and food and stuff like that. Anyway, in the last read, you can have a check-in on her energy. She's on track. I think there's days where she feels a bit weaker, like she feels like I'm getting up, I'm ready to go, but she's also not, I'm ready to go out. So if anyone pushes in her in that way, I don't think she's going to, but she might be like, I'm having a good day, I want to get out, do something, or I want to go, you know, do something in the home and stuff, and maybe she's a lot weaker than what she felt she was. But I also want to say this journey to recovery is not only surgery, and I'll tap into that later. And in the recent reading, I mentioned a card that I'd seen, and I'd said that I will tap into it should it come out. So that is still on my mind. Anyway, let's get to Prince William. So this was reluctant to come out, okay? Sorry, I'm not laughing, but that's one of the cards I mentioned in the last read. One last tower at the bottom of the deck, okay? So we'll just bear that in mind. I'll put it there for a moment. If you should be able to see everything. The last bundle of cards that wanted to come out were quite heavy. Three of Swords, I keep seeing it this way up, so we'll bear that in mind. Let's get into what I've got here, right? Hopefully you can see all this. So I'm getting the energy when he wanted to when he cancelled, not when he wanted to kind of cancel. That's interesting. So I wondered if he kind of was like, I can do this, I'm not sure if I can. And he was a bit all over the place, and they were like, just cancel it. Someone advised him, or maybe King Charles, just cancel it. Now, on that day, was there other news that came out, and I felt that sent him off balance. If you know of any other news that came out on that day where he cancelled recently, I think his godfather's memorial or something like that. He was very much in his emotions, okay? He was overwhelmed by that as well, about the amount of emotions. There was something that he could not, it was a real challenging decision for him to cancel. And it was kind of like, I need to cancel because the longer term, so when you cancel something or you make a choice, you choose one thing and you let the other thing go, or put that on hold while you attend to one and then go to the other. The decision to cancel was because the thing that he had to attend to was the long term of his life. Something that's longer term. The impact is longer term. He needed to be there. He needed to be grounded and make that decision. I think it also related to a younger energy. One second before I say this, I don't want to say anything. It's not bad, but I don't like to bring people into the thing that is not. You're probably like, other tarot readers, just get on with it. They see the magician, they say black magic. That's what we want to hear. You're not getting it. And I know I'm not for everyone, but I take people seriously and I take their energy seriously. So, yeah. I feel like one of his children needed looking after. Yeah, maybe feeling a bit under the weather. And so with Kate feeling under the weather, yes, they've probably got nannies and stuff around, but I think he needed to cancel for that reason. I also think, like I said, there was some other thing. This is unexpected. That day he was going, but everything, there was just unexpected news, right? It was just not expected, but I feel like there was some other unexpected news. Not only that one of his children was feeling maybe under the weather, or something there with them, and then Kate's not well. There was some other news that I feel that came in as well. And so he had to prioritize opportunities, and the decision was to cancel attending this. I think, you know, I mentioned King Charles and said we'll just cancel. I think he did speak to King Charles about it. And then that sent him off to know that the right thing to do was to stand up and take this decision, even though he found it extremely challenging. And also he was in his emotions about all this. There was something on that day, by the way, that made him, his inner child be triggered. And I don't know if it's his emotions, that there was something on that day that happened that triggered a wound or a deeper emotion. I'm not saying that's why he cancelled, but a lot was going on that day. And I think that triggered also his emotions. And then he had a fear of what should he do. It's interesting, I've picked that up and put it in reverse. I'm going to have to hide a little bit of this card because of the nudity. I feel like the beginning of the day he was ready for stuff, and yeah, just nothing too serious, but then this was a bit more serious, and I feel like there was other news that came out. Maybe it came out in the public, or maybe in the family, and it was unexpected. Like, he didn't expect to cancel. It wasn't planned for him to cancel and not attend. He found it really difficult to make that decision, and he sought counsel to try and know what to do. But then when other things were happening as well, like what I said, he felt like, I need to stand on my long term here. What is more of a priority? And I need to be the stronger one to defend. He actually felt at some stage in that day, by the end of the day, with everything going on, he felt quite defensive. He felt quite vulnerable. He felt like he was up against all odds and quite alone in that. And I feel like he also felt like he's battling stuff alone, and Harry is just in another corner thinking he has battles when actually he doesn't. Like, he feels like he's handling all the battles when, you know, Catherine's probably his stabilizer and she's not well. And then had he had that, what he maybe sees as the loyal, ideal brother, he could have had that person beside him. Or he could have stepped in at least to attend or something. Not as Harry now, but if they'd grown up and he was still living in the UK, you know, everything was okay and he was part of the royal family. So how is he doing right now? You know, he's got a lot of people around him. There's a lot of discussions about duties and responsibilities at the moment. I feel like there's a big team around Catherine that he's also trying to kind of, he attends, so, you know, so when, I don't want to say meetings, but do you know when you, like, for example, the medical specialists come in to see Catherine, he tries to be there as well. So he's very much aware of what's happening there. He's not dissociated. I just want to get a clarification on this a minute. Yeah, see, we've got the Knight of Pentacles here, where I said it's about his family. Some of it's around the kids, there's Catherine not well, and then there's some other news that comes in, but it was all unexpected, and so was it all unexpected for him to make this decision as well outside. And here we have it again. So this devil energy, I feel, represents something that's hidden that we're not aware of, which we know is totally not all of we don't know exactly what's happened, fully announced. As psychics, maybe we have our own things and own predictions. Like I'm not, so I still stand by some of my prediction. I'm going to go into that further down the line as well. But if you look at the whole time frame of what I predicted, exactly on point. The energy here is actually the devil represents a Capricorn, and Capricorn is Catherine. So in this read, I feel like it's heavily representing Catherine's energy and the work around, you know, his duties separately, but his focus on the medical team that are around Catherine and keep moving forward, and the plan to keep moving forward to make sure he has his home and family stable and comes back together, and that new beginning comes in. This causes him a lot of anxiety, and there is heartbreak around this. He often gets clouded in his vision and overwhelmed with emotions. He's also having a bit of overwhelm on who he can trust. I actually feel like during this time, he's probably getting a lot closer to Charles, King Charles. I feel like in the past, William is more zootic, more like, you know, the moral monarch holding it, what my moral role is in this. But still maybe not as close to his dad as a dad, because obviously of past things that's happened or occurred. But I feel like right now he's probably finding that the only person he can fully trust on, while he can't necessarily go to Catherine, is King Charles. And I think King Charles, like I said in my last read, is maybe giving him advice of things that he sees for himself now. And there is conscious kicking in for him here. But he is aware, and he is having a bit of a lack of trust in terms of trusting people, in terms of finding that some people could be on a hidden agenda or risky behavior around him. And I feel like he has his guard up to that, but that's not his energy right now. So his energy, he's fully focused on what he needs to focus from what I'm seeing, and he really wants that new beginning to come in, where Catherine is better, and also he can see not far down the line where he's going to have to take the throne. He does have anxiety, he does have a heartache. I mean, with that comes heartache maybe on his father. I'm not saying, I'm not predicting, I don't like to predict timelines of people's endings, but there is heartache there when you know your father or someone is not well, and you probably know a lot more than the public in terms of time frames. It causes him a lot of overwhelm. I also think it causes him to tap into maybe a bit more, I'm getting the word attachment behavior. So maybe he's really frightened of things falling apart with Catherine, or, you know, because his father, you know, losing his father, and so he's becoming anxious attachment. Obviously he's had the heartbreak of his mother in the past and losing his mother, and so that attachment style behavior is coming in. This could also mean that, you know, there's a coping mechanism at the moment that he's leaning on, not necessarily that he likes it, but it's to sort of help this energy that he's in. And that coping mechanism, you probably all know what it might be. If we talk in general with people, it could be overeating, it could be alcohol, it could be drugs, it could be any addiction. Sometimes it could be even sleeping a lot just to get away, to escape. But I feel like this is more other than that. It's not sleeping or food, and it's not necessarily drugs or anything like. It's not beyond what the majority of people use as something to try and escape. And that could be, I'm not saying it is 100%, I don't like to put those things out there, but if you understand my readings, you know that I'm probably saying a certainty of a certain amount of something. Okay. I'm thinking to actually leave this. Let's just pull some more cards. Oh, shame. This King of Swords, I think we've had a Queen of Swords in Harry's. We've got a King of Swords here. There is a heavy energy upcoming for him where he's going to feel really betrayed by something. I feel like there might be some communication that comes out that he has a choice on, and it could be around communication, formal communication that needs to come out in terms of maybe Catherine's health, you know, like an update. But it's something to do with, you know, one second, because I like to make sure I've got a full deck to ask other questions. Let's just put these aside a moment. Bear with me. Don't forget, if you're enjoying this, give it a like, share it, subscribe. We'll put these here, okay? I just need to cover that one. Keep Archangel Michael. I think there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we're not aware of in general, okay? I think there is going to be further stuff. There's going to be something coming out, okay? I do feel that, and that it's actually making me quite anxious myself, and I don't know if I'm picking up his energy. I'm not sure if he's frightened about something coming out. I'm just remembered as well, like in one of the readings, I think I mentioned it in Harry and Meghan, I might not have, but like there's this whole thing of Meghan being a surrogate, and do you know that the royal family will know 100% if she is, and they've never unraveled that. And I just think, you know, I always look at these things and I think, how can you not have respect or just appreciate those little things? But I must admit that a lot of the percentage of the population don't, or society. Like, I hold little things like that in high regard, or even that my father wasn't present, so Prince Charles walked me down the aisle. Those things I would probably never forget, but then again, we don't know what was said for a fact. But I can't see if something was said in the way it's said to be said, that someone can fake being a racist but then not a racist to walk someone down the aisle. Anyway, let's get back to this energy. Justice wants to pop out. If you've seen some of my readings, I've said justice waiting to hit, and I didn't necessarily mean Prince William. Oh, I hate it when a card falls far away. 8 of Cups. I'm going to put that aside because it didn't pop out and I'm taking pop outs. We're back to the Tower, okay? Back to the Tower at the moment, and I think it's coming to do with justice. It doesn't mean it's Prince William at all. Let me just get the card that's fallen. Okay, it was definitely worth getting because it's a positive card. I'm not sure if this came out before this, so I'm just going to read it intuitively anyway. Can you see overwhelm again? Overwhelm and probably the coping mechanism while I'm flicking all my cards all over the place. In his upcoming energy, and I'm talking about more or less next week, and it could be going on, there's new things that are happening where he will possibly need to attend to and work on. He's not going to feel his best, but he knows that he has to do it. There's things that he's deciding that he cannot attend to right now, and he's walking away from it. And it could be something that they're asking him to do that's new, and he's like, the new cannot be done now because of everything going on, and that's where, you know, it's just laid to pause. He is holding on to every bit of stability, and if you look here, this is where I said to you, I'm getting a sense psychically that he's going into the behavioral of attachment style. You know, we've got the different ones, which is avoidant, anxious, and I think he's going into more of the attached sort of anxious style as opposed to avoidant. He's not feeling his best in terms of being motivated towards stuff. So, you know, he could be focusing on the lack of certain things as opposed to anything offered that could be like an opportunity, okay? And we do go through those phases, don't we? He is working and patiently waiting for the harmony of his marriage and Kate to be better. And he is, there's communication happening. There's communication coming up that is going to be a bit confusing on how to communicate, what should be communicated. And by overwhelming himself, he gets the clouded vision of what should be said. And this could be anything to do with a press release. It could be to do with anything, even internal discussions with the king, with the monarch, with Catherine. But I feel more with Catherine, it's obviously relaxed. I feel this is a bit more out there. And so it causes him that anxiety. There's definitely a heavy energy for him where he feels like, I'm done. Like he feels the last sort of stab in the back. But you know, after that last stab in the back, what happens is that there's only the new that can come in, and here it is. Is he going to recognize that? Or is fear going to set in? He's just not happy with everything around him right now. And he's very wary. And he's holding on to, you know, what he feels safe and stable in. And I feel like this is also trying to hold on to the monarch's money that he feels maybe certain individuals try to tap into every now and then for their own good. I definitely see that kind of side energy as well. Like, whatever's in my hands, you're not going to be, this is not a charity. There's going to be quite a bit of reflection. A reflection on a communication, something new that comes out as well. But reflection about it before it comes out, like I said. Let's just pull a couple of more cards. We have the heartbreak here. But going into the following week and the end of the week following week, he might feel like he needs to rest up and just step away for a moment. And I'm not saying he's going to step away for a year or months or whatever. It's interesting I said a year. I didn't even want to say a year. He's not going to, it might just be he steps away 4 days, he's got nothing, and he's going to step away to ground himself, to feel renewed and balanced. And maybe this might mean just being in nature, testing. I wanted to say sort of, not testing faith, but I wanted to say tasting faith, but it's interesting, I didn't feel the word tasting is right, but that's what's coming through. And then it was like testing. So I think he's getting his test of faith, and he's starting to have that taste of what faith can do in terms of balancing his energy. And it might mean that he might need to take some time out. There's definitely something that is quite heavy on the heart in his energy. And there's new coming in. So I'm going to leave this here. And I'll do another check-in which will tie into this soon. So I hope some of the news that we might not be aware of is not going to be too heartbreaking for him. And I hope it's not kind of, yeah, I'm going to leave that there. I'll do another energy read, but it won't be for a week, because I want to, you'll understand why. But I think now that clarifies why he cancelled, and just tapping in. But it's beautiful. Let's just end on this good note. We've got Archangel Michael here twice. We've got Archangel Michael. So he has protection. He can tap into his faith, and it's not all heavy. He has some great cards here where he can lean on. I think he can also lean on Catherine when something heavy might be stated or something like that. But obviously at a certain time, he doesn't want to put tremendous pressure on anyone else, and his kids are still quite small. So I'm going to leave this here. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like and subscribe. And everyone, I'll see you in our next read. Bye for now.